Hi, everyone, and welcome to TWF Collision or Hit. I, Tony Schiavone, with Joey Styles and with Montel Vertadius Porter. And today on Collision or Hit, we have a good show here today on Collision or Hit. Yesterday on Friday Night SmackDown. For those who did not see it, Tony Schiavone says, I was there. We saw Ronald McDonald win the TWF 24/7 winnings from Xia Li yesterday on Friday Night SmackDown. And the truth is, it was a long time coming. Oh yes, it was a long time coming, Joey Styles says. No one really believed, Tony, that Ronald McDonald would win it. Not even Ronald McDonald believed he could win it. And he mostly always told folks that they believe in Mike. But I guess that never say die, never yield mindset of Ronald McDonald. And today he is now the TWF 24/7 fighter. And we'll see who Ronald McDonald is going to fight here today. If he'll be fighting here today on Collision or Hit. I'll tell you one thing right now, Tony and Joey. I think Ronald McDonald got lucky when he beat Xia Li, because I do not see him getting lucky again. I don't see that happening at all. That's just my belief. It might be the unbeloved, the unliked belief, but it is my belief all the same. Montel Vertadius. So you believe it was luck, and you believe that's how Ronald McDonald beat Xia Li. Yeah, we should all just get over the whole Ronald McDonald bullshit. I mean, he's been withdrawed in 26 between a while by the McDonald's business, and I don't think he's ever coming back. And somehow, some way, I think he got lucky. Well, I don't have to worry about losing my strap anytime soon. You don't got to worry about me, Roxanne Perez, losing the TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings anytime soon. Because I already beat Amber Moon many times. I already beat Madison Rayne many times. I mean, what is it with them? What is it with me wrestling former WWE women wrestlers, now AEW women wrestlers now? Like, what is it with that? I mean, are we even seeking anymore? Do they even have anyone that I know I can beat? Well, you ever heard that saying, watch out what you wish for, because you might get it? Tony Schiavone says, well, someone tells me that Roxanne Perez never learned about that saying. You know, that Roxanne Perez never learned. You know, that Roxanne Perez never ever learned about that saying. You know. About that saying, Tony Schiavone says. Well, Joey Styles says, I think Roxanne Perez didn't learn a lot of things when she was growing up. You know, I think in her mind, she would see herself as the unstoppable, unbeatable, unyieldable TWF Women's Heavyweight fighter. And we do know, Joey Styles said, we saw what happened to Xia Li. She ended up losing the TWF 24/7 winnings. Oh, now I can't stand up now? Well, I like to know what it is about them sending losers my way, like Amber Moon or, Madison Rayne. Losers. That's all they're sending me these days. That's all I have to wrestle against these days are losers. Hey, Roxanne Perez, are you talking about losers? Oh, Isn't it Alexa Bliss? Oh, former WWE Women's Heavyweight Fighter, former Women's World Heavyweight Fighter, two-time WWE, three-time WWE Women's Tag Team Fighter. You got a lot of gall. Because at one time, there was a time where where you like to bully folks like I did. Yeah, there was a time where I was guilty of that. Alright? And before you came along, Roxanne Perez, you know, you like to talk about and behave as if you think you're the greatest of all the women wrestlers out there. Granted, or given that you did it at being 22 years old, but that still doesn't make you the greatest of all greatest of all the women wrestlers out there. I mean, you behave as if somehow starting out in ROW and ROH before getting to WE, somehow that made you behave as if you're so greater than everyone. You're not. And let me tell you something, Roxanne Perez. I could think that a lot of folks out there don't really give two shits if you won the ROW Women's Heavyweight winnings. If you won the ROH Women Heavyweight winnings. I don't really think folks care if you were a former two-time WWE NXT Women Heavyweight Fighter, one-time WWE NXT Women's Tag Team Fighter. You might give a shit about all those things you did in ROW and ROH and WWE. But I would give a bet that most folks don't really care that much about it. I care about what I did in ROW and ROH in WWE. I did. Ow. I care, Roxanne Perez says. You might not, but I do. And you're right. I did all that when I was 22 years old. Yes, there were other women wrestlers out there who did it before and did a lot more shit than I did. But none of them could say they'd done it in a short time that I did. I mean, Alexa Bliss, when you won the WWE Women's Heavyweight winnings those times, and when you won the the Women's World Heavyweight winnings, and the WWE Women Tag Team winnings, did you win it in a short time? Or did it take you some time? I don't know how long it took me to win all the things that I won. But you say that you want to fight. You say everybody you're fighting is losers. Well, guess what, Roxanne Perez? You're going to be fighting a winner. Because I'll win and then you'll lose. Well, Montel Mercedes Porter says the fight keeper can't stand up in the ring. I think she's been drinking again. Would you stop, Tony Schiavone says. She has not been drinking again. She is not drunk. Yeah, Tony, you know what it is? Joey Styles said it's wakefulness. That's why she can't stand up in the wrestling ring. It's wakefulness. Oh. This match is for the TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings. First, she is Alexa Bliss. And she is the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, Roxanne Perez. See anything? Roxanne Perez just knocked down Alexa Bliss, and she didn't take her strap off yet. I see the hands are in the way. Oh, and once again, Roxanne Perez is body slammed. You know, Alexa Bliss. And now she thinks she wants to do pop rocks to her. But Alexa Bliss came back. A hip toss, Tony Schiavone says. A drop kick. Well, need be, Joey Styles says, need be, Roxanne Perez will learn to have some on-look for the fellow women wrestlers of the toy wrestling gathering, Joey Styles says. Well, Montel Porter says, I don't think so. Unless Alexa Bliss beats, Roxanne Perez. Just like Gia did in WWE. Even then she might not have no on-look. Wait a minute. Alexa Bliss right now is gonna... I don't think Alexa Bliss is gonna win this one at all. Montel Porter says, oh, Ember Moon Roxanne Perez got out of the way. Roxanne Perez. Told you she'd get out of the way. Yes, you did tell us that, Tony Schiavone says. You did tell us that. But I don't know if Roxanne Perez is going to beat Alexa Bliss or not. Here we go. Oh. Pop rocks. I know we can't do pop rocks very well, Joey Styles said with these dolls. Is Alexa Bliss going to lose to Roxanne Perez? Joey Styles says. We're going to have to yield for the fight, Lord, to reckon 1, 2, 3, Montel Porter says. Start sobbing, everyone. Well, we'll have to see if that happens or not, Tony Schiavone says. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner. And still, the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, Roxanne Perez. Well, Roxanne Perez is still the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, and she beat Alexa Bliss here today on Collision or Hit, and Alexa Bliss doesn't have anything to feel ashamed of here today. Here today on Collision or Hit. She put in a good match, Tony Schiavone says. Yes, she put in a good match, Joey Styles says. She gave everything that Roxanne Perez could handle. But at the end of the day, Roxanne Perez is still... Ow! But at the end of the day, Roxanne Perez is still the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, Joey Styles says. I can tell you one thing, Montel Porter says. Now Roxanne Perez has not only beat Ember Moon and Madison Rayne, but she has also beat, Alexa Bliss, which I think is cool. Well, that's going to be your belief, Tony Schiavone says. We'll take it away now to Mike Lane. Thank you, Tony Schiavone and Joey Styles. I'm going to be talking with Roxanne Perez here today on Collision or Hit. Roxanne Perez, somehow, someway, you are still the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter. Oh, yeah, she shoots and she wins, right? You're going to say some cool things like, scratch his back with a hacksaw. He is happy as a butcher's dog. Great balls of fire. Yeah, I used to say that when I worked in the NHL calling ice games over all those years. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you something. You never saw anyone in the NHL win the Stanley Cup. At a young age. You never saw no team do it. You saw no player do it. But you saw me in the WWE do it all at 22 years old. Something that none of the players in the NHL can ever say they did. Well, it's true. None of them could say they did as things quickly and skilled ice game as you did in skilled wrestling. However, We're not talking about the NHL. We're talking about here in the TWF, what you did. You beat, Alexa Bliss, and somehow you're still the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter. Yeah, and I'll still be the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter. And unlike that so-called fighter, Dakota Kai, the Women's World Heavyweight Fighter, I'm putting my strap on the row. You know what I think, Mike? I think, and this is my belief here, I think that I should be both. That I think that Dakota Kai should put her world women heavyweight winnings with mine. Then I can beat her. And I can be both the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter and the Women's World Heavyweight Fighter. Yeah, so you can hog both of the straps? I think not. And sooner or later, Roxanne Perez, I think someone's going to come along and beat you. Yeah, but Mike Lane, I don't really think that's going to happen. He shoots and he wins. Scratch this buckle of hacksaw. Hey, Tommy the Butcher's dog. Great balls of fire. Yeah, don't be shaming me of all those things I said when I was in NHL. Well, Roxanne Perez, still a TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter. Back to you, Tony Schiavone and Joey Styles. Well, thank you, Mike Lane, for talking with Roxanne Perez here today on Collision or Hit. And that's all the time we've got here for Collision or Hit. I, Joey Styles, Tony Schiavone, with Joey Styles and Montel Bertadius Porter. We hope you like Collision or Hit. And we'll see you tomorrow for Power or Might.